For the first 6 weeks after our marriage, my wife avoided all intimate contact. Not a touch, not a kiss that lingered, not a single night spent close. At first, I thought it was shyness, adjustment. New beginnings take time, I told myself. But when I reached for her hand one evening, and she pulled away as if my touch burned her, something inside me froze. I asked her what was wrong. She looked straight at me, her voice cold, clipped. My body is my choice. You can't demand anything from me. That wasn't defense. It was defiance. And in that moment, I knew I wasn't looking at a partner. I was looking at a strategist. Before the wedding, Aisha was warmth itself. Soft laughter, eyes that lingered, a voice that felt like home. We met at a friend's engagement. She said she admired my calmness, my focus. I admired her fire. Within months, we were married, quickly, almost too quickly. Everyone said we were the perfect match, my discipline balancing her passion. They didn't know that passion, unchecked, can burn a house down. By the 4th week, her phone was always face down. Her smiles were rehearsed, and her silences, calculated. Then, one night, I woke to the faint glow of her screen. She was whispering, laughing softly. My name wasn't mentioned once, but another man's was. Imran. I didn't interrupt her, didn't shout, didn't break anything. I watched, listened, and memorized. She told him she couldn't stand my control, that she had married me for security, that once the property transferred and the joint account settled, she'd be free. My heart didn't break, it calcified. The next morning she smiled at me over breakfast, pretending to be tired. I smiled back, poured her tea, and said nothing. That was the day I began planning her exit. I started with information, copies of her late-night call logs, screenshots of her texts, recordings of her whispers when she thought I was asleep. Then came the legal groundwork. I visited my lawyer, quietly, told him I wanted to file for annulment, not divorce. He raised an eyebrow. Annulment requires proof, fraud, deception. I slid the evidence across the table. He nodded slowly. You'll get it. The next part was precision. I made no changes to my behavior. Still gentle, still calm. I gave her no reason to suspect I knew. She grew bolder. She started staying out late, claiming girls' nights. She smiled when she thought I wasn't looking. Smiles meant for someone else. She even mocked me once, quietly, under her breath. I heard. I stored it. Each act of arrogance was a gift. When the annulment papers were ready, I didn't serve them immediately. No, I invited her parents, my family, and a few close friends for dinner. A celebration of our 2nd month, I called it. She loved the idea, said she wanted to wear her red sari, the one that made her feel powerful. I told her she should. That night, the table gleamed with silver and candlelight. She looked radiant, her confidence intoxicating, her lies hidden beneath perfection. Dinner was warm, lively, laughter filled the air. Then I raised my glass and said, I have a toast. She smiled, expecting praise. I want to thank my wife for reminding me of one truth, I said evenly, that marriage isn't built on love, it's built on honesty. Silence. Her smile faltered. I placed my phone on the table, tapped play. Her voice filled the room. Sweet, seductive, venomous. I'll get what I need from him soon. Just be patient, Imran. Once it's done, I'll come to you. Her father's hand tightened on the tablecloth. Her mother gasped. My family stared, stunned. Aisha's face drained of color. Those are lies, fake. I slid the envelope toward her. Annulment papers. Her signature line, empty. Fraud, I said quietly. That's what the law calls it when a marriage is entered under false pretense. You'll sign this, tonight. She looked around, at the witnesses, at the ruin she'd sown. Tears filled her eyes, but they weren't for me. They were for the collapse of her plan. I didn't Save it, I cut in. You said my body wasn't yours to demand. Fair. But my name, my house, my trust, they aren't yours to exploit. Her father rose, trembling. Asha, is this true? She couldn't speak. The silence answered for her. The next day, her things were gone. So was the red sari. My lawyer called 2 weeks later, annulment granted. Fastest case he'd handled in years. I'd also made sure her little friend, Imran, received a visit from the company's fraud department. Turns out he'd been accessing financial data illegally. His career? Finished. Her dream of freedom? A cage she built herself. People said I humiliated her. Maybe I did, but humiliation wasn't my goal. Truth was. See, revenge doesn't need blood. It needs precision. A quiet kind of justice that echoes louder than screams. I didn't raise my voice, didn't curse her name, didn't chase closure. I just closed the door, softly. And for the first time in 6 weeks, I slept in peace. Sometimes I replay the dinner in my mind, the candlelight, the recording, the silence that followed. It wasn't joy I felt that night, it was balance. Because love, without respect, is just manipulation wrapped in silk. And betrayal, when met with patience, becomes art. So when people ask me what happened after my wife refused me for 6 weeks, I tell them the truth. She taught me restraint. I taught her consequences. And both lessons were unforgettable.